Good morning. Happy Sober Thursday. It's Thursday again already. Seems to happen every week. Weird. Hope you're having a good day. Looks like we're going to be in the big book, page 151. Probably be a vision for you. That's what I would guess. I've noticed we tend to skip a couple of chapters. There's two chapters in the big book we hardly ever talk about. We hardly ever mention. Actually, there's three. Sometimes we mention the family afterwards. Sometimes we get into that a little bit. But we never ever touch two wives or two employers. We think it is not about us. These chapters are just as important as the other chapters. Just notice that the readings are never in that. Nobody ever reads from them. I know I do not have that part memorized. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't. I bet when you sponsor, you skip them. Do you skip those two chapters when you're sponsoring? Uh, let's see if I have anything even underlined in two wives or two employers. I bet I do not. I bet I do. Yep. I have one thing circled. Let's see here. Otherwise, nothing else. I know that we went through it. All right. So that goes two employers. Let's see how much stuff is underlined in two employers. Nothing. See? Because we don't cover it. We don't cover it. Good morning, Clara. It's good to see you. I'm just making fun of the fact that we never cover two wives or two employers. So it's in the first 164 pages. So maybe I'll do those. Nobody's going to listen to them, though. Nobody's going to listen to them. All right. We're hitting that 3-minute mark. Let's kind of get started. We're going to be in the big book, page 151. We're going to be talking about a little bit of conviviality. It's going to give us an answer to most of our problems. Right. So I'm just going to show you something real quick. Okay. I know usually it's like, I'm bitching or doing. Okay. So somebody tagged me in this post. Now, here's the thing. This person knows how I feel and they kind of know how I voted, but to me, this is not a political post. All right. So you have a couple of things highlighted, Claire. I had a few things highlighted in two wives, but nothing in two employers. So now, don't get me wrong. This is one of my friends. Christine is my friend. So now it's this guy, and he's talking to RFK. RFK has been cutting the budget, the recovery budget, and good for him. Good job, RFK. But anyway, this guy says, you've credited the 12 steps in your recovery. Do you remember step 12? Yeah, we try to help other addicts. I doubt that's what he said. Does cutting off treatment from people still suffering align with step 12? All right. Now, it did upset me a little bit that I was tagged in this, but I think what my friend is doing is saying, Dion, give your view on this. I think is what she's saying. And I'm not going to, there's not going to be name calling or anything like that, but it's a chance to educate, right? So now if I would have reacted first thing, I don't think that would have been good. I'm going to sit on this one a little while because I want to give a thoughtful response in this case. I do. I think she's giving me a chance to educate. All right. And that's only because I got fired for stealing in my 4-step. Oh, Claire, you're fucking hilarious sometimes. Hi, Amber. Good to see you. Good to see you. Or good to have you here. All right. It's funny because my phone rings last night. It's Amber on a voice call. I'm like, I already know this is a butt dial. I already know. Amber's not going to FaceTime me. It's not her thing. She prefers texting. I prefer talking on the phone, but if it gets too long, then I can. But what I do is I can actually text WhatsApp and on my phone on my computer, so I can just type it out and keep up with you youngins. Let's get started. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I'm your host. I always have been. I always will be. Been a long time since somebody said you need a co-host, and I've tried and tried and tried and tried. They always fade away. If you're here, please say hello, whether watching live or the rewatch. But I will if people ever want to come on, I have no problem with it. I really don't. In fact, I believe Amber and I were going to cover AC/DC big balls at some point. We talked about another topic too, though. We did. So I didn't check to see how many times my stuff was downloaded yesterday. Let's go find that out real quick. And the number is, 14. I popped up a little bit. Good for me. Good job, Dion. I went from 7 to 14. It was in the 70s, man. All right. I I don't know what happened. I think it was through my friend 12 Step Recovery, you know. Anyway, Money Man. I think his stuff was connected to iBox, and then his stuff kind of changed on his website, and I think that's what did it. So it is what it is, man. So for most people, they have so many numbers that missing 50 people they don't even notice. For me, that's like everybody that listens to me. Let's get started. A gift that comes with time. Time. All right. For most normal folk, we are not normal folk in the sense, and I don't want to hear nobody's normal. We know what we're talking about. Okay. Right. For most normal folk, for most non-alcoholic folk. How about that? Drinking means conviviality, companionship, and colorful imagination. It means release from care, boredom, and worry. It is the joyous intimacy with friends of feeling that life is good. I had a time like that in my drinking. It didn't last very long, though. A couple years. Alcohol took me down pretty quick. My drinking career was about 20 years long total. First time I drank was about 5 years. The next time I relapsed, I was out for 15. So about 20 years of drinking. I guess that's a lot, actually. Compared to a lot of other people, the 30, 40 years of drinking, though. Some people, maybe even less. Who knows? That time doesn't really matter, right? But there were a few times, not all the times that I had while I was drinking were bad. The problem is that I wouldn't be involved with a lot of this. If I got together with four friends in a six pack, man, that would just be the most frustrating thing in the fucking world. First of all, we'd each get one, and then my next concern would be who's getting the last beer. And so that would be my only concern. Then I'm going to think, holy shit, two? We need to go get more. So now I'm thinking about that. I am not involved in the care, release, boredom, the release from care, boredom, or worry anymore. I no longer, the joyous intimacy with friends, it went away quickly. Everybody went away quickly. I would say that for 80% of my drinking career, I drank alone for most of it. All right. But not so for us in those last heavy days of drinking. The old pleasures were gone. They were but memories. Never could we recapture the great moments of the past. There was an insistent yearning to enjoy life as what we did, as we once did, and the heartbreaking obsession that some new miracle of control would enable us to do it. There was always one more attempt and one more failure. See, I believe that I was just trying to chase something. I was trying to chase that first solid, good drunk. I was trying to repeat the summer of 1983. Best summer ever for me. I was 13. Best summer ever. And it wasn't even that great. But for Dion, it was great because he actually had people hanging out with him and things like that. It's weird. My grandson's 13, and I look at him and go, really, Dion? That fucking young? That young, Dion? Sometimes it's hard for me to even believe. And I was there. I was there. All right. I was trying to chase that one magical moment that I had when suddenly everybody liked me. When I finally fucking belonged at 13, I thought I found my answer. And for you to tell me, and then to call me an alcoholic on top of it, man, that just pissed me the fuck off. My thought was this: I'll show you, alcoholic. I'm going to show you destruction. And I did. I did a lot of bad things. I'm not going to tell you about. We're not here for war stories. We're not here for war stories. But I would fuck with you. If you fucked with me, the consequences. People always say, you have no patience yet. I would wait 9 months for revenge. Because then you wouldn't think of me. Because then I know that you'd already fucked with so many people since then that I'm not going to be the first person that comes to your mind. And I'll make sure to stay out of your purview. And then I'm going to start torturing you. I'm going to turn out your lights while you're gone. I'm going to make you think that somebody's watching you. I'm going to come kick your sprinkler heads at 3 o'clock in the morning so that you have to replace that. Just one. And do it like once every month. That's the kind of shit that I did as a child. I've always been very good at vengeance and revenge. Well, see, it didn't last long, did it? But what was I trying to do? I was trying to recapture the great moments of the past. I hear people all the time now, you got to stop with those Zoom. There are people so vehemently against Zoom meetings. I can't believe it. It is because they want to go back to the good old days. They are trying to recapture the old moments. Those are gone. AA's job is to conform to society, not you. We are to conform to the new people coming in, the younger generation, not Gen X, not boomers. No, it should not be geared towards them anymore. No. It should be geared towards the millennials and the Gen Zs and whatever else fucking comes after that. I know I can't keep track of all of them. Okay? It's why we made the interactive yellow hands for the in-person meeting. It was for them. We call it sacrifice. Right? So how does AA do that? Because the first 164 pages aren't going to change. I don't want them to change. It's the stories in the back. It's the stories in the back that change. The 5th edition is coming out, and there'll be a whole new set of stories. Some will be kept. Dr. Bob's Nightmare will probably be kept. And Acceptance Was the Answer will be kept. Keys to the Kingdom will probably be kept. Those 3 will probably be kept. That's my guess. Because those 3 stories have been in that book since the first one. All right. Clara says they are the future old timers. 3% maybe. I don't know what the 3% means, but they are the future old timers. So what are we doing? Right now, you and I are planting trees of which we will never sit in the shade. That's what we're doing. Because we're sitting in the shade of trees that were planted before we got here. You pay it forward. Pay it forward. All right. So the less people tolerated us, the more we withdrew from society, from life itself. There are 2 things there. Number 1, that people left us, and number 2, that we withdrew. Mostly I withdrew. I don't know how many times I've heard people say, Dion, you are very hard to get to know. I'm like, yeah. And my answer to that is, yep. I'm still kind of hard to get to know. I know I seem transparent, I know, but that doesn't mean that you know me. That's okay. There are a lot of people that do know me. I've become a little bit more open with things and things like that. So I'm getting there. But I don't want a ton of people in my life. Just don't. It's too confusing. It's too much for Dion. All right. As we became subjects of King Alcohol, shivering denizens of his mad realm, the chilling vapor that is lonely. This almost feels like a Michael Jackson thriller, right? As we became subjects of King Alcohol. That was not a scary voice. Dude, I can't do Vincent Price, right? Shivering denizens in his mad realm, the chilling vapor that is loneliness settle down, ever to become the thriller. Having a little fun. Yes, Amber, I would agree. It's a two-way street. It is a two-way street. Yeah, it is not a one-way street. I would agree with that. Yeah. Oh, it thickened, ever becoming blacker. Some of us sought out sordid places, hoping to find understanding, companionship, and approval. Momentarily, we did. Then would come oblivion and the awful awakening to face the hideous four horsemen. I didn't find the four horsemen very hideous. I welcomed them motherfuckers into my life. I'm like, you guys are here. I've been waiting. They brought me a horse. We went riding. We went riding to the gates of hell. We kicked them motherfuckers in. We partied. That did not fear me. I did not fear that. I was used to living in terror, bewilderment, frustration, and despair. I was used to it. A lot of days I welcomed it. It's sick. But yeah, I did. Because I wanted to be this. What did Michael Scott from The Office say? I want people to be scared of how much they love me. Man, do I relate to that. Yeah, good news. Can't announce it here, though. Can't announce it here. But Amber and Claire, I'll let you know after. Has to do with my daughter and somebody that fucked around with her. They're going through with the case. Now you know. Don't fuck with my daughter. Remember what I was saying earlier? I've been waiting. Patiently waiting. Patiently waiting. All right. Unhappy drinkers who read this page will understand. I understand it. Understand it perfectly. I cried when I had to let these guys go. They were my only fucking friends, man. For most of my life, including my childhood. I hung out with these guys forever. I'd love to create terror, bewilderment. I would love to frustrate your life. I want despair. See, I wasn't treated very good by a lot of human beings in this world for a good chunk of my life. It wasn't until I got mean that people stopped fucking with me. That's why I am the way that I am. It's a self-defense mechanism. You fuck with me, you're gonna find a foot up your butt. It's just kind of how I am. I'm the Red Foreman of recovery. I might even do it politely. Pardon me, but if you don't mind me going to be putting my foot up your ass now, I'll even give you a warning. See how kind of me? That's the reactive Dion. That's the reactive Dion, right? Right. The other Dion can act with a little bit more kindness, a little bit more thoughtfulness, like that post I was talking about earlier. I decided to wait so I could have a much better answer. All right. So now and then a serious drinker being dry at the moment says, I don't miss it at all. I feel better. We actually just talked about this in the parking lot meeting last night. So it was, you know, and I'm gonna say this because sometimes people are scared to speak their mind in AA meetings. It is okay to have a difference of opinion. It is okay to have a different experience, especially in the grassroots. Just because I may not agree with you or other people may not agree with you doesn't mean it's wrong. We all have our own experience. And if you can't go to a meeting and allow other people to have those and learn from them too, then at the very least, shut your fucking mouth. We're not there to judge. I have no reason to judge. I have no right to judge, especially when it comes to a higher power, especially when it comes to spirituality. That is beyond me. Yeah. I was very proud of that person. Now and then, I don't miss it all. Feel better, work better, having a better time. Things got good, huh? As ex problem drinkers, we smile at such a Sally. We know our friend is like a boy whistling in the dark to keep up his spirits, and he fools himself. Inwardly, he would give anything, take half a dozen drinks, and get away with them. Now, what is it? Did you hear it? Did you hear it? Did you hear it? Yeah, it says, and get away with them. There's the problem. There's your horse thief. There's your sober horse thief. He wants to get away with something, whether it be stealing. See, now the thing is when an alcoholic gets sober, if there is not something to replace the bullshit, they're gonna go after one of two things: sex or money. Because inwardly he would give anything, take half a dozen drinks, and get away with them. It is the thrill of making money the wrong way, of knowing that you should not be in that relationship. It is the thrill of the chase. It is the chase of the money and those kinds of things. Huh. Huh. Oh, 73%. Okay, that makes a little, that makes more sense. No worries. Oh, all right. For he isn't happy about his sobriety. He cannot picture life without alcohol. Someday he will be unable to imagine life either with alcohol or without it. Then he will know loneliness such as few do. He will be at the jumping off place. He will wish for the end. Yeah, that was me. I used to wake up in the morning alive, and I would literally swear at God that was my praying in the morning when I was drinking. God, why the fuck am I still here? Why am I still alive? What else do I need to do? How much poison do I need to put in me before you fucking take me? Because I didn't have enough guts to do it myself. I didn't. I don't have enough guts now to end my life. I don't have it in me. I'm not saying there aren't times in my life when I wish I wasn't here, when life is too much. But that has more with having wanting to just disappear than die, of hiding and burying my head or secluding myself. You know, I think we all kind of go through that every now and again. Maybe to varying degrees, right? But we alcoholics know loneliness such as few do, and that includes other addictions. Why is that? Because we've been an alcoholic all of our life. There are people out there wanting to argue. There was somebody earlier just, God, if you use AA If you cut down AA, okay, here's the number one wrong with it. Number one, if you need to cut something down in order to prove your point and you're trying to make money off of it, that creates what we call competition. Okay. You shouldn't put down the competition. I was a salesperson for years. You don't put down the competition because then people don't want it. They get turned off by it. First, where's the first thing wrong? Competition. There is no competition in recovery. It shouldn't exist. That's the first thing wrong with it. Then to utilize AA to bolster what you are doing, what are they doing? They're catering to people who went to AA, but all I hear is I was unwilling to do the work. That's all I ever hear. It doesn't matter what they say. Well, I don't want to be labeled an alcoholic. Who says you're being labeled an alcoholic, man? You don't need to go running around telling everybody you're an alcoholic. Is Dion an alcoholic? Yes. Is that all he is? No. I'm a lot more than that. But when I'm drinking, I'm not. Then I'm an alcoholic. Then I am a true blue alcoholic because nothing in this world matters but alcohol. Once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic. It doesn't mean it needs to define me. I get that. Just like the guy he was here the other day. He's like, I don't believe once an addict, always an addict. And you shouldn't do. And I said, I'm going to allow you to be that. If that's what you want to be, that is fine. But don't tell me that I don't get to decide what I am. That goes directly against what you're saying. That's how I knew they were full of shit. They were contradicting themselves in their own questions. It wasn't hard. How do I know that? Because I used to be that person. It's not hard for me to recognize it. It's not hard for me to see fraud and bullshit. Why? Because I have a criminal mind. People are surprised by that. Unless you get to know me. Right? Okay. We have shown you how we got out from under. You say, yes, I am willing, but am I to be consigned to a life where I shall be stupid, boring, and glum, like some righteous people I see? I know I must get along without liquor, but how can I? Have you a sufficient substitute? We're in a vision for you. And if you are still going around saying, am I going to be consigned to be stupid, boring, and glum, like some righteous people I see, then maybe you didn't do the steps right. Because at this point, you shouldn't be thinking like that. It might pop up. But in the general sense, you won't be thinking like this anymore. No, some righteous people I see, that's just indignation for other people. So I'm not going to go that route. What if I don't want to be the hole in the donut? I don't want to become a non-entity, but I'm not going to compare myself to other people. No, those days are over with. The only comparison I should make, okay, and I used to do it all the time, especially when I started this, people like a video of somebody just walking down the street talking nonsense than they will something like this. I used to complain all the time. No, I can't make that comparison. That is not fair to me. You know why it isn't working that way? Because I'm not that person. Oh, okay. There we go. Have you a sufficient substitute? Yes, there is a substitute, and it's vastly more than that. It is a fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous. There, you will find release from care, boredom, and worry. Your imagination will be fired. Life will mean something at last. The most satisfactory years of your existence lie ahead. Thus, we find the fellowship, and so will you. Might not be the answer you wanted, but what are we doing? It's a substitution. It's a substitution. The Fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous is a substitution to the alcohol. It's got to be replaced by something. All right, June 26th, a gift that grows with time. The part that they have written in here was the first part that we wrote. I'm just going to go ahead and reread it. For most normal folk, drinking means conviviality, companionship, and colorful imagination. It means release from care, boredom, and worry. It is the joyous intimacy with friends and a feeling that life is good. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 151. The longer I chased these elusive feelings with alcohol, the more out of reach they were. Yeah. Alcohol is like the carrot, where they put a carrot on a stick and a string and put it in front of the horse, so he just keeps walking because he's trying to get to the carrot, but he never gets to the carrot, because if he gets to the carrot, then the carrot's going to stop walking, or the horse is going to stop walking. It's the same thing. Alcohol does that to us. It's elusive. You go to pick up that $1 bill on the ground and it moves because somebody has a string on it, and it becomes perpetual. That means it stays in motion constantly. That is the insanity of the disease. The perpetual motion of doing the same thing over and over again, expecting this time it won't hurt. This time it won't. Well, this time I have a different attitude. Well, this time, if we're at this times, man, you're already way past the time to get sober. Yeah. However, by applying this passage to my sobriety, I found that it described the magnificent new life made available to me by the AA program. It truly does get better one day at a time. It's the only way it gets better. A moment at a time, a day at a time, an hour at a time, 10 minutes at a time. It's the only way that it works. The warmth, the love, and joy so simply expressed in these words grow in breadth and depth each time I read it. Sobriety is a gift that grows with time. I'm going to change that a little bit. Recovery is a gift that grows with time. It's the recovery that grows, not the sobriety. Sobriety only grows in one way: time, length. That's it. It doesn't have breadth and width, it only has length. That's it. But sobriety, recovery has the breadth and width in it. So sobriety is great, but let's work recovery, right? So, all right, it's gonna be it for this one. I appreciate everybody being here. I have a sponsee at noon. I'm hoping they show up. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out.